Hello everyone. This is chapter number 1, chemistry of class 9, matter in our surroundings. In this part, we will see properties of gases. Again, based on the basic three properties, that is interparticle spacing, interparticle forces of attraction between the particles, and the kinetic energy. Now in gases, interparticle spacing is very large. That is, the distance between two particles is very large. Second is, interparticle forces of attraction are the weakest. As the spacing between the particles is very large, the two particles cannot hold together each other tightly. It means the forces of attraction between the particles is very weak in gases. The third is, as the forces of attraction are weakest, particles move in any direction. These particles exhibit transitional motion, rotational motion, and vibrational motion, just like liquids, but here the movements are very strong movements and fast movements. If we talk about the kinetic energy of the particles, particles of gases have large kinetic energy. These particles can move within the volume of a gas or the container, and if we remove the lid of the container, the gas particles immediately comes out of it. So it is not limited to the volume. Afterwards we will see that the gas do not have definite shape as well as definite volume. So let's start with the properties of gases. The first property is shape. Gases have indefinite shape. Why do they have indefinite shape? Because the spacing between the particles is very large and the forces of attraction between the particles is also very weak. That is why the gas always takes the shape of the container or the vessel in which they are filled. The second property is volume. Gases have indefinite volume. Why indefinite volume? Because again the same thing. The forces of attraction between the particles is weak. That is why the particles go on moving in all the directions, in any direction, exhibiting all types of different motions such as transitional, rotational, and vibrational. For example, if we talk about the perfume, then if we spray a perfume in a room, then within a few minutes we can smell the perfume in the entire room, in the entire volume of the room. It means gases do not have definite volume. If we spray the perfume in a small room, then within a room that smell will remain. But if it is a large room, then the same perfume particles will travel larger distances and will occupy the entire volume of the room. The third property is density. Density is mass upon volume. In the previous parts, we have already seen this diagram. See here, in the cubic volume, less number of particles are present. So the mass is less, and mass and density are directly proportional to each other. So as mass reduces, density also reduces. So gases have low densities. The fourth property is compressibility. Whether after application of pressure, it reduces its size or not, or it reduces in volume or not, that we have to see. So gases have high compressibility. Example is LPG cylinders, oxygen filled cylinders, which are used in hospitals, and CNG cylinders, which is used as a fuel. So what is done in LPG cylinder? This is used as domestic fuel, LPG. So LPG, it is liquefied petroleum gas. So what is done here? The petroleum gas is usually in the gas form. So under pressure, under high pressure it is filled up in the cylinders. So this under pressure the gas is converted into liquid form. That is why it is called as liquefied petroleum gas. So in a small volume of cylinder the gas can be compressed easily. If we remove the pressure from up or by opening the valve, again the liquid gas or the liquid or the fuel gets converted into gas again. Similarly, in hospitals, oxygen is converted into liquid form. Usually it is in the gas form. It is converted into liquid form under high pressure. It means it can be compressed. Gases can be compressed easily. Next is rigidity. What is rigidity? Rigidity is nothing but a tendency to maintain its shape. We have already talked about gases have indefinite shape. So no question of rigidity. They are very, very less rigid. Next is fluidity. Fluidity is tendency to flow. Definitely it exhibits high fluidity. Why? Because the forces of attraction between the particles is very, very weak. That is why the particles of gas can easily flow. That is why it exhibits high fluidity. Kinetic energy, as the particles show all types of motion, random motions like transitional motion, rotational motion and vibrational motion, it means they have high kinetic energy. Then diffusion. Diffusion is very fast. Diffusion is intermixing of particles on their own. In case of gases, the diffusion rate is very fast as compared to liquids and solids. Solids doesn't diffuse, liquids show slow diffusion. For example, suppose we are preparing ammonia gas in the laboratory. So as soon as the gas is formed in some chemical reaction, immediately it fills the whole room. We can smell that gas in the whole room. Why? Because the particles of ammonia intermix or diffuse with the particles of air. So diffusion rate is very fast in gases. One more thing which is very, very important about diffusion is Graham's law of diffusion. What does this Graham's law of diffusion states? It states that the rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to the square root of its density. In short, the meaning of this law is lighter gas will diffuse more quickly. Now this we will try to understand with the help of one activity. Let's see what diffusion is. First of all, what we have done in this activity is we have taken two cylinders. This is one cylinder, this is another cylinder. In one cylinder we have filled hydrogen gas and covered it with a lid. In the second cylinder we have filled bromine gas. The color of bromine gas is reddish brown, and again as it is gas it will leak, therefore we have to cover it immediately with a lid. Then further what we have done, we have inverted this hydrogen gas cylinder over this bromine gas cylinder, and after inverting what we will do, this is the arrangement. What we will do, we will remove this lid. So after some time what we will see that the entire cylinder, this entire thing has become reddish brown in color. The color of hydrogen gas is colorless. Hydrogen is colorless. This is colorless and bromine is reddish brown. So after diffusion we will see, as after diffusion, that is when hydrogen gas particles and bromine gas particles intermix with each other, diffuse with each other, we will see that this entire cylinder appears to be reddish brown. So what does this mean? This means that hydrogen gas particles have traveled in the downward direction and bromine gas particles have traveled in the upward direction. They have mixed with each other. That is why the entire thing, this entire cylinder has become reddish brown in color. So this shows that diffusion doesn't have anything to do with the gravity. One thing. Okay, there is another example where we will see how diffusion and densities of gases are interlinked. What we have done, we have taken this tube which is open from both the sides like this, and we have kept a cotton gauze which is dipped in ammonia solution. NH3 is ammonia solution, and here we have kept a cotton plug or a cotton gauze which is dipped in hydrochloric acid solution. So what happens? Fumes of ammonia starts releasing from here, and fumes of hydrochloric acid solution starts releasing from here. After some time, what we will see, a white colored ring is formed over here. White colored ring. Some white solid deposition is seen over here. So what does that mean? This ammonia gas has traveled a longer distance, and this hydrochloric acid fumes, this has traveled a smaller distance. So as ammonia has traveled longer distance, it means the particles of ammonia has traveled longer distance. So what does this mean? The density of ammonia is lesser than the density of hydrogen chloride fumes. So what Graham's law states is that the rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to the square root of its densities. It means if the gas is less denser, it will diffuse faster, and if it is more denser, it will diffuse slowly. So in this case, as this is covering more distance, it means rate of diffusion is more in ammonia as compared to HCl. So this is how we can understand Graham's law of diffusion. Okay, one more thing. If I give you three gases, hydrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So out of these three gases, what can we say about the diffusion rate of these three gases? Whether hydrogen gas will diffuse faster, or oxygen will diffuse faster, or carbon dioxide will diffuse faster. Out of three, hydrogen gas will diffuse faster. Why? Because we know that density is equal to mass upon volume. So mass of hydrogen as compared to oxygen and carbon dioxide is less. As mass reduces, density also reduces, because mass and density are directly proportional to each other. And as density reduces, rate of diffusion increases as per Graham's law of diffusion. So hydrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide, the rate of diffusion is fastest in hydrogen, then little less in oxygen, and least in carbon dioxide. This is rate of diffusion. So these are the different properties of gases. Thank you.